Hi, this is Mandy from Sunflowers and Doors. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to kind of run through part of a project I'm working on at the moment. I wanted to be able to use this today, but because of the glare, I'm going to put this back on, and hopefully you won't get the glare that you had. So yeah, we're going to go with that. Okay, I've also got here somewhere some papers that I just want to pop into there. Okay, so let's start again. Hello. Really good to have you with me today. I hope you're all well. This is a very small project. I have been using some papers by, I want to say LuiseHEINZL, and they are coffee and buttons digital kit, and they were absolutely gorgeous. So I was watching a recent video, and she did some incredible stuff with her kit, and I just want to kind of show you what part of that I'm at the moment. So some of the things is the journal cards, and they are mixed media journal cards. The kit, as I said, is absolutely stunning, and I'm just going to show you a little bit of the process. So I don't know if you can, I don't know whether the camera will pick it up. I'm hoping it does. This is the kit. It was printed off 4 to a page, so it comes out in this size, which is really, really handy. I also downloaded one of her Fussy Cat bird kits, and I'm using those for part of the project and not for others. This here, as I said, I don't know whether the camera will pick up, but this is simply a disc using a 2-inch punch, and I played with some alcohol inks, some blending solution, so a 97%, 91% alcohol, I'm not sure which it was, and I also used some of the what do they call them, the alloys. So that gave us this incredible kind of effect on the card here. So that's what I'm going to kind of run through with you today. So I'm just going to get myself sorted. Okay, so the products even I'm using today is I'm using some alcohol inks. We've got that one there, which is a caramel. Then we've got, that is the caramel. Then we've got the latte. Then we've got the ginger. And then I'm working with the alloy, which is statue. So this is like a bronzy, like a bronzy colour. You can kind of just pick up there on some of the colour with that. So alcohol inks are really, really new to me. So I will kind of make mistakes, I'm sure. I'm working with some blending solution, and then I'm also working with some alcohol, 91%, I think this one is alcohol. I've just got a little dropper here, and I've got a spray. Now, when you kind of play with this, a lot of the time you will kind of want to distribute the inks and what have you, and you'll either use a straw or even blow the inks works, but it's alcohol inks we're dealing with. So I did watch a Tim Holtz video where he kind of used this little blower and came up with some fantastic results. So I haven't used it yet, it only arrived today. So I am going to give that a go as well. So let's all cross our fingers. So again, I'm not really sure what order this is supposed to be in. So I'm going to start just by putting some alcohol drops on the page, and I don't know whether the paper is it's going to pick up too much of the, it's going to soak too much of the things in before it allows us to kind of play with them. So I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. So I'm just going to go with it. So this is caramel. Then I'm going to put some latte. Then I am going to put some ginger. I'm going to put some blending solution. And I am also then going to put a drop of the alloy. You do need to shake this one up to activate it. And as I said, I'm not sure whether this is going to have taken too much. I'm just going to put a drop. Way too much I've used, but I think because of the way the paper is absorbing this ink, I'm going to have to excuse me, add some more bits and pieces to wet it down a little bit. And the great thing with this stuff is that you can keep adding to it. So I've probably done it over too big a space. The last time I did it, I used a really, really small focal space. Definitely going to have to put some more of these on. It's all trial and error, to be honest, with this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to play. Now you can see the way that there you go. You can see the way that the alloy is kind of separating while it's mixing in with the inks. So I'm going to, I didn't want to go block colour as I did with the original ones. I did want there to be more kind of spread out bits and pieces. I'm just going to spray this bit here a second, just so I can keep it where I want it. And I'm going to put a little bit more, I think, of this one here. Okay. Now, I don't know whether you can see the alloy splitting and kind of doing its own thing. It's gorgeous. It's like almost like veins, threads through, like a marble effect, I suppose. But I really like the look of it. So that is what we are doing. And you can keep building this up and building it up and building it up till your heart's content. And like I said, I'm probably using way too much product, but it is all trial and error. Yeah, absolutely love the way this alloy kind of splits. Just want a bit more by here. Probably not the best example of using this stuff, and it's gone through the card, completely through the card, but I don't know if you can see the there's some blocks here which kind of happens more with mixatives, so this does need a little bit more blending. So I'm going to just drop a little bit more there. I'm going to put a little bit more alcohol on. You can see there it's kind of split it open a little bit. And I'm going to put a touch more of this just to focus on that area. It's incredible stuff, Minds. It really is, the way it kind of just works. Okay, so that's broken that up quite a bit more. Okay, and I'm just going to use my heat tool. This is definitely going to need some further practicing. But as you can see, it's actually set now with the heat. And I'm hoping you can see the alloy, you know, the way it just literally pops and shimmers in between the colours. So I absolutely love that effect, even though I haven't yet mastered it. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the card down to the colour, if you like. And this is what I used when I was cutting out. I used a basic 2-inch punch even, and literally just pop that and you will see the effect. Hopefully you will see the effect. You might want to wear gloves with this exercise, but hopefully you will see the effect there. It really is really gorgeous. So I will cut the rest of those out, but for now I just kind of wanted to show you the process that I'm kind of playing with at the moment. And as I said, I've probably used far too much of each of those pieces, but yeah, practice makes perfect, so they say. Okay. Gosh, I really did use an awful lot. So that's what I used for these. And if you can see the effect, and literally all I did was place them on the card, and I used one of the cutout images, the birds, and I've just distress inked around the edges. Now some of these I haven't used the alcohols with, so those I have, and also that one, and yeah, that's the one. So there's 4 there using the alcohol inks, and the same process to all of those. And then with these 2 here, I used the alcohol ink here, but instead of using a bird, I used the die cut, I think the Wildflower Sizzix dies. So I use that just to kind of pop a little bit on there, and then I tried the same effect with just craft card underneath. So yeah, they are kind of where I left off, and just to finish now, I just want to add a little bit of additional texture to that, so I will be right back. Okay, so I did actually have a splat box, but it wasn't quite as big as I wanted it to be. So this, I don't know how much of this you can see, was literally just a cardboard box that I had. And I have, excuse me, I have literally just taped around it just to give it a little bit more strength. And I'm hoping this will do the job. So we're going to use that. I'm also going to get my really messy acrylic block, and what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to add a little gesso. I don't know what I'm going to add it with now though, because I don't have anything with me. That was really well planned. Excuse me. So I'm just going to add a little bit of gesso there. And then I am going to add some water. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a mix up. I just want something really watery. Okay, so just a little bit of gesso mixed with some water. I'm going to use my splatter brush, and I'm literally can't use these things for toffee, so it's just as well that I put the splatter box, because you can see already where it's going. Okay, so the gesso is actually, I'll show you now, but in place parts, it's, to wipe that one over, in parts it's actually started to take on some of the ink, so to slightly discolour, if you like, which looks pretty cool, actually. Okay, so we have got 3 pieces here, 3 pieces there. You can see there what I mean. It's actually started to take on some of the colour from the ink bleeding in from the ink, the printer, from what I can see. It's a little bit too much there, but again, that can just be dabbed off. So this is my kind of first attempt at using alcohol inks, and then using gesso as splatters. I actually really like the outcome. I think they look really, really great. I do really like them. So I'm going to, in the description box, I'm going to pin in the details. So everything from the materials I've used, the colours, the digital kit, everything that I've used, I will mention all of that down in the description box. Yeah, have a go. I'm going to literally be playing with alcohol inks for some time now. Just to try and get kind of a grip. But to reiterate, I used the latte, the ginger, the caramel, which all came in one pack, the statue alloy, some blending solution, and then some alcohol, rubbing alcohol, which was, it was 91%, I did check. And then with the gesso, it literally was just a white gesso that I've added with a little bit of water to give that effect. So on to the next mixed media project. So if you give me 2 minutes, I will just get rid of all of this and be back with you. Okay, so still sticking with some mixed media bits and pieces. I've got some index cards that I've already coffee dyed, or tea dyed I should say, just for a little bit of colour, because, sorry, I did let's wipe this bit up, just because I'm not overly fussed on the whiteness on the back, and it's easy to back it, but it's probably just as easy to start with some coloured paper before we go any further. Okay, I'll stop rabbiting now. So what I'm going to do with this, I've still got my acrylic block. It's still a teeny tiny bit wet, and that's okay because we're going to use that wet. So I'm going to start with using Distress Oxide, and this is frayed burlap. I haven't used it before, so I'm hoping it's going to be nice. I think it's like a browny greeny colour. So I'm just going to place some of that on the block. I mean, if you've got distress sprays, then you don't really need to do that. You know, there's loads of different things you can use in place of this, you know. So, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently pop some of this colour, and it doesn't matter that it's all over the place. I'm going to pop some of this colour. I'm going to do that to absorb some of the other colour, and that. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn this over and just gently take that to some of the blank pieces. Okay. So now I am going to just quickly dry those off a little bit. Okay, these are all curled up, but that is not a problem. Now I'm going to use the walnut stain oxide, but I may as well just use the re-inker because I've got that here in front of me. So I'm going to start just with 2 drops of that at the moment because it's quite strong. Okay, and I'm just going to spread that over here a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to do exactly the same. Use a little bit more. And a little bit of water. Do you know, I love watching videos where people do these kinds of things because in fairness they do make them look incredibly easy, and I'm sure they're not as hard as I find them. But yeah, it certainly doesn't come out that easy for me. So I do take my hat off to these people, although they've probably had lots and lots of practice. But do you know what? It literally is. You can either say, okay, not great, so I'm going to pack it in, or you can think, do you know what, I'm not great, but hopefully with a little bit of practice, I might be better. So again, I'm just going to dry these off really quickly. Okay, so 2 of them quite dark to start with, and I like the look of those 2, to be honest. These 2 not so much, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it blend in a little bit more so it doesn't look so kind of disjointed. Is that a word you can apply to crafting? I'm not sure, to be honest. Okay, all my nails are broken, but that is just crafting, isn't it? So with this one here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some of the darker pieces just with some of the white gesso that we've just used for the other project. And I'm just going to use a little bit to blend in some of these areas so it's not quite, the difference isn't quite so stark. Well, that's what it's meant to do in theory. Whether we get that look is another matter. It's still probably a little bit too wet to be playing with, but it's okay. That's okay. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 in that, even though it's not my favourite technique or outcome, but I'm going to put 2 in there. But with this one, I'm just going to really lightly blend in some of this darker pieces so that we keep some of it as well. Okay, so just so you can see the different kind of looks you can get with you know, how you apply it and how much you apply. I'm just going to put some here because we haven't got much there at all. Okay, that's fine. And if it's not fine, it'll have to be. Okay, so with the gesso, we need to let that dry. You could dry it again if you wanted to, but do you know what? I'm just going to let that dry a little bit while I work on these two pieces here. Okay, so what I want to do with these, and I have seemed to misplaced my paper. Okay, so I'm just gonna, book page is quite a thick book page. It's a very old book page, but it is nice and thick, which I kind of like. So just put those over there. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make sure that they're dry, and I'm just going to just pick off some different shapes using this book page. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue down, and then I'm just going to pop that on there. I'm going to do the same here. I'm just going to put some random bits of book page, and don't worry about, you know, the glue being in the right place, or making sure it's, you know, fully covered. You're not going to need that for what we're doing. Just going to put, as I said, a couple of pieces of book page on that. And again, what I'm going to do is use the heat gun or heat tool just to kind of make that glue try and stick a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take a rubber stamp. Let's excuse the noise. It sounds like the sun's come out, and so has the party in mode. Okay, so this is Tim Holtz Crackle stamp, and it is, I'm using Timber Brown, Stays on Timber Brown, just to put some ink on that. Gosh, you can hear the dogs as well, I'm so sorry. It's supposed to be a nice peaceful Saturday evening. I'll give that a proper clean later. Okay, so I'm just going to try this and see if it's, no, it hasn't stuck enough yet, so I'm going to have to come back to that one. These two are drying nicely. Oh, they're actually dry enough. So let's get our stamp back out. Really love this. I first saw Tanya from Tatty Treasures use this, and I really liked the effect. So I did wait around till it went on offer, and when it went on offer I snapped it up, but I really like it, and it seems to go lovely with these darker colours. Loving that. Okay. Okay, so what is next is the million-dollar question. I'm going to try something that I've tried once before, but not with much success. So this is like a false stitching line. So if you don't have a sewing machine, then that's not the end of the world. Okay. With this one here, I think I'm gonna ink around the edges, and again I'm just going to use some walnut stain. And I think I'm going to do the same possibly for that top one as well. I used to use brushed corduroy, and I ran out once, and so I think I probably told you this story before, but I ran out once and ended up with a walnut stain, and now I use it for every project, virtually, even some of the lighter stuff. So yeah, I really like that. Okay, I'm gonna see whether I can take some of this off, like so. Okay. And the idea with this is that you take some of it off, but it leaves some of the paper on to look kind of vintagey. It hasn't come out as well as I wanted it to, and I think that's probably needs to stay overnight. But that's okay, because we can fix that. It looks very patchy at the moment, but that's okay, because we are going to do some bits and pieces with that, so it's not going to look quite as false, or you know what I mean. Okay, so for 4 cards that we've used the same basic principle to get them started. What I'm going to do now is I am going to grab some embellishments, which I've got here. Okay, so I've got a couple of things here which I am going to build on. Been singing Pink's family. Is it family? Pink's Can We Work It Out family track. Been singing that for 2 days. Absolutely bizarre. Not sure. Okay. Right, sorry, where were we? still using my desk tidy that I got off Corey Damon, and still absolutely loving it. I think I showed you all in a previous video, so I won't get it out again, but yeah, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so more possibility. Okay, I'm going to go with that for now. And in fairness, it is my least favourite card so far. So if it doesn't work out, I'm not going to kind of lose too much sleep over it. Gosh, my neighbours are literally, I don't know if you can hear them, they must have a bit of a party going on because they are singing their little hearts out. So I'm sorry if it's distracting. Oh, dear me. Sorry. I'm not sure how many of them can hold a tune. So, yeah. But at least they're having fun. Real fun. Oh dear. And I'm just using Fabri-Tac on this one again as well, just because it's going over a little bit of like lacy stuff. So that's going to go there. That's my first one. Okay. Right, I'm going to do this one next because it is my next favourite one and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to go with some of my favourite pieces. They're singing, what's it? Oh gosh, who's the band that used to sing Wonderwall? Having a ball they are, so it's good for them. Okay, I'm not gonna think too much. I think when I think too much, I tend to, that's when I tend to start making decisions I'm not happy with. So I'm not going to think too much. I am going to instead just go with some of the colours I really like. I'm going to cut a bit more of this off. And I'm going to go over here with that. And you can do some, you can use embossing on these, you can do whatever you want to. Literally, this always seems to stick, which is quite odd. I hope you can hear them. They really are having a ball. Okay, and over here, I think, doesn't always help when I think too much. I'm going to try and use the bee, and I'm going to use one of these tickets. Now the bee's a bit bright at the moment, so let's just grungy him a little bit. Okay, so I'm also going to just go around the edge of that. So I'm going to try. Okay, so that looks, I'm liking that. Probably needed to use Fabri-Tac again, but that's okay. I wonder what I want to use a clock. That was too disjointed. Yeah, I should have used Fabri-Tac. and it's pulling some of the colour up as well. Okay. I think I'm also going to, everything's sticking. Probably should have done that underneath. Might go there. And it's just literally layering up and putting, you know, building up a cluster if you like. So it's still going. I'm laughing. I'm not going to be laughing later if they're still going on late, because it's right next to my bedroom. And I don't think I'm going to be too impressed. Okay. So oh gosh, I'm hoping to get this up quite quickly, this video, because I'm conscious that a lot of the stuff I've done has been kind of really far in advance. And it's not that I haven't wanted to put it up, it's just that I got an opportunity to film quite a lot. But I have, you know, people have commented about the fact that it's now April and I'm talking about January. So yeah, I am sorry. So I'm going to try harder. Going to definitely try harder to be more on top of things. Okay, that goes there. Right, so we're going to use this one next. And for this one, I think I'm going to start by putting the fabric down. I've just, literally today, I've had a really, really good tidy up and everything's gone away. And it's typical because I wasn't intending to do anything tonight. And of course now I want to get everything back out, but because I've tidied it all up and put it all away, the logic tells me don't mess it up again. So I'm going to put a bit more of this here as well. Who sings it? What's the Gallagher's? They had a group, didn't they? What's it called? I've absolutely drawn a blank. But that's what they're playing next door, is the Gallagher sounds. I shouldn't laugh, but they really are having a ball, and it's nice. Yeah, it is nice. No, I'm not fussed on those at all. I'm not sure I will use those again. But anyway, that's number 2. Okay, number 3, I've pulled across some of the clusters that I made the other day in the hope that these might look pretty cool against the card. Even against that piece there, and I could add it like that, and then build up this middle section. I left myself a lot to build up mine, so if I left that like that, that would also be the tag for it. Yeah, okay. I'm not sold on that yet. I like that one on there, but it's so big. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to put anything on this section that's not going to be swamped. I mean, something just as basic as that, perhaps with a little stamp underneath, might work. I quite like that. Maybe. It's just as well I love the first ones, isn't it? And a bit of a drama on this second lot. Hoping that'll stick now. Oh, it hates it. See, it doesn't like art glitter glue, that meshy stuff. I love using it, but it really doesn't love me, and it certainly doesn't love art glitter glue. They are playing some pretty cool tunes next door, mind, I do have to say. So if I've got to put up with it all night, it's I don't think it's going to be too much of a hardship. They had a party a couple of weeks ago, funny enough, to celebrate one of the youngsters' birthdays, and it was really lovely. But it was like an 80s thing, and their youngsters only, what, I don't know, she's got to be about 10. So it was like a retro type thing for them, I think. Now, I've done these clusters in a way that you can actually write on them. So I think you can actually lift these bits, some of these bits up and write on them. So you've almost got like a bit of a weird hybrid thing going on with the yeah. See, I do really think I like that, but I know it looks really bizarre. I don't want to overkill it, but I would like to try and incorporate the butterfly if I could. I'm going to cover too much of the stamp if I do that. Maybe not. No, I'm just placing things now for the sake of placing them. Okay, so let's just pop some of this stuff away a moment. Okay, so we've got two very different styles of mixed media cards. These ones here, we are using kit. We're using alcohol inks and alloys. We are using some distress ink and some gesso, which has been watered down and added as splashes. So that's those 6 there. I really do like those. And then on a completely different scale, I mean, you could put tabs on these actually, which would probably look quite nice, some of the fishtail tabs, so that's an option. But on a completely different scale, we've then done just some really basic index cards. I've coffee dyed them. I have put some distress ink on them. Some of this one here, I've used some gesso and just some false stitching with some plasters and a tab. This one here, not a lover, but not a hater either. So again, this one here, we've used some coffee dyed index cards, added some distress inks, added some book pages on that one. I think perhaps if you leave them overnight, you'll get a better effect. So just apply them with some glue stick, let them set, and as you rip them off gently, you're left with like a real rusty type effect. It does actually look a lot better than that. I've tried to rush that in this one project, which is a bit of a mistake. So, and then we have this one here, and we've used again some tea-dyed index cards, some distress inks. We've put some stenciling on not stenciling, some stamping on each of these. This one's I've just built up a cluster, used a little bit of the web mesh there and built up a cluster. And then on this final one here, this one we've done all the before, so the ink, the coffee dyed, tea dyed index cards. We've used some gesso just to kind of, you know, blend that ink in a little bit. We've built up some clusters on the front. I'm going to cut those bits off actually here because they don't need to be there because the other one has them in place. And I've just inked around the edges on all of these just to give them a little bit more definition. And with this one here, just a little bit of a cluster there, and I've put one of the clusters I made recently, and the fabric becomes the tag or the tab. And you can also write on that as well as write on the back. Now, as I said, you can back these, but I really like the grungy look. The dog's joined in the party next door now, sorry. But I like the grungy type of look on the back because it shows, you know, lots of the different things that you've done with them. So yeah, two very, very different types of mixed media tags. Or bookmarks or journal cards or whatever you want to turn them into. Lots of fun. There's lots of learning to be done because, as I said, I'm so new to the mixed media and the alcohol inks in particular, but I do really, really love this effect that we've managed to achieve. The light's starting to go now, but I think you can hopefully still pick that up. Absolutely loving that. So as I said, I will put the products and the people and the kits and everything else in the description box below. Yeah, two completely polar opposite results. Loving these. About these, I think they'll grow on me. I might have to do a little bit more with those two back ones. I do like these two front ones, but I might have to play with those a little bit more. But again, that's the great thing with crafting, isn't it, that you can just carry on until you kind of get the result that you wanted. So yeah, thank you for staying with me on a complete learning journey. They're really going for it now. I'm sure you must be able to hear them. But thank you for staying with me and bearing with me as I try to kind of maneuver my way through these new processes. This is going to take some getting used to, I think. But yeah, really had a bit of fun with this, to be honest. So yeah, if you get a chance to try any of this out, I would love to see some pictures. If you've got any hints or tips on how I can use some of this stuff better, I would love to hear them. But until the next time that we catch up, take care of yourselves as always, and we'll speak soon. Bye for now.